Hey everyone, welcome back to What the Fertility. We are so excited to start our Motherhood After Loss series, and we are excited to have Lauren Dewey as our first guest. She is the owner of brooksybox Care Packages. We can't wait to hear her journey and what led to this amazing care packages designed for every stage of motherhood. We can't wait to just hear your entire journey and what led you to even starting this amazing company. So welcome.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for having me, Amanda. I really appreciate it. And so my name is Lauren Dewey. I'm a mama of two boys. So Brooks, who is 3.5, who we went through infertility before we had him, and then Caden, who is 17 months now, and also the founder of brooksybox, which is a gifting company to help you support mamas in waiting and mamas through every stage of the motherhood journey. So I'll kind of start a little bit more about like our infertility journey as a whole. So we struggled with infertility for around 3 years before we had Brooks through IVF. And during that time, there was a lot of different things that were going on. I was diagnosed with Hashimoto's disease. I ended up being diagnosed with PCOS, which I thought I had all along. And it took a while to get that diagnosis. I also think I have endo, which can't be formally diagnosed unless you have the surgery and everything and go into all those procedures. So that's my own informal diagnosis based on all my symptoms and everything. I think there's something there. But so it was a whirlwind journey. We did one medicated cycle, and then we did 6 failed IUIs.
Goodness.
And after that, I was told by the clinic that we were in at the time that this was actually, let me back up a little. This was a little bit after COVID. So things were still kind of getting back into the realm of being able to do a lot of different procedures and embryo storage and all of that. So my current clinic that I was at, they didn't have any storage for additional embryos until this was like March, I think, and they didn't have any storage until like the fall of that year. So he was like,
wow, I didn't even know, not to cut you off, but like I didn't even know that. I never even thought to think of like storage part. Like I obviously we've paid for embryos to be stored, but I didn't think about like max capacity. Like I didn't know that was like a thing.
Right. I was like, well, how much storage do you need? There's so little.
There's so little. Yeah.
So I was like blown away by that. And he literally just told me, he's like, relax, enjoy your summer. We'll figure it out. And I'm like, I just went through like all those failed things. I'm like, no, I am like ready to go. I want to move towards IVF and just to like have a doctor tell me to relax after everything. I was like, come on, know your audience a little bit.
Yeah, like please, come on. Yeah. That's like the worst thing to say to someone going through this. I know.
Right. Yeah. So after that, I explored different fertility clinics. I ended up switching over to where we went through IVF, and I absolutely love them. It's CNY. They have locations across the country, but they have a location here in Rochester, New York, where I'm based.
And okay. I didn't realize you were in New York. Okay, cool. Yeah. I'm originally from New York.
Oh, okay, yes.
Yes.
So actually, did we talk about this at one point?
I mean, maybe we did. I think we did, actually. Now that you say it, it's like everything blends together.
Right, and it's like,
wait, did I talk to you about that? Who is it? Someone else? Like, I swear, it's so funny.
I love it. But yes, so then we ended up going through IVF with them. They were amazing. Obviously, everyone has their own experience with each fertility clinic, but I personally had a great experience with them.
That's so nice.
We went through our retrieval, which was a little bit different for me. It was a lot of pain leading up to it because I was just always producing so many follicles, which in hindsight was great, but like, quality over quantity, you want the quantity, but you want it to be quality too. Mm-hmm. So I was kind of told going into it, like you might end up having a lot of issues with retrieval, et cetera. So went into retrieval. We ended up getting 29, which is absolutely amazing. And then 15 fertilized, and then into 8 embryos that we.
Oh my goodness.
Which is fantastic.
Yeah.
We actually didn't do any testing on ours, so it might have decreased even more, but that was just an option that my husband and I were like, I kind of just want something to be left.
Like a surprise. Just
have someone take it, right? And not have everything be so structured for me.
Yeah.
But because of that, I did have OHSS that was, that ended up from that. And I was in bed for 5 days, just
I was gonna say, was it
so much
terrible? I've
pain.
heard like some people's reactions are like, oh, it wasn't terrible, but then some people like was in so much pain
Yes.
and it was like a hard recovery.
hmm Yeah. So while I was obviously so fortunate to get that many, I was like, I hope I never have to do this again because if
Oh
that happens
yeah.
again, it was just terrible.
No, for
Um,
sure.
so because of that, you're not able to do a fresh transfer because your
Mhm.
body just needs to like recover. So we ended up doing a frozen transfer and we were so incredibly fortunate because it worked on the first try of IVF,
That's
which is what led us to
amazing.
Brooks.
Oh,
So
I
yeah,
love it.
so
That is
after
so
all of that.
sweet. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, but that's, I mean, incredible. And just like even your numbers, just like I feel like everything was just such good statistics
Yeah,
wise. Like I feel like was like textbook for you,
right.
which is like incredible. Oh
I
my
know.
goodness.
I know. We know how extremely fortunate we are for that.
For sure.
So,
For sure.
um,
Oh my goodness. Okay, so that was Brooks.
yes.
And then were you like, okay, we're gonna just like wait X amount of time and then go right back in because you knew you had all these embryos left still, or what
Yeah.
were you thinking?
Yeah, so I've always had like irregular periods, which kind of goes back to the PCOS, right? Like I
Yeah.
knew but I was kind of naive like growing up. I'm like I never thought I would have like issues conceiving, which I shouldn't say I was naive because you just don't know what you don't know,
A
right?
100%. Yeah. We're
So,
never taught this. Like, nobody
no.
ever talks to you about this. Like,
They
I
only
had
said
no
like don't
idea
get
any of this
pregnant.
even existed. Yeah. I thought I was like going to be pregnant if I just like looked at a boy. Like,
Right.
genuinely.
Right.
Yeah.
Like we're trying not to get pregnant here.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now I want to get
It's
pregnant
not
and I
us. Yeah.
can't.
Literally. Yeah.
So, the
So funny.
frustration, right?
I
Um,
know.
but so then from there, so I ended up not getting my period until like 17 months postpartum, which is amazing in itself. I know that
I
too,
know.
but I kind of expected that because after I went off birth control before fertility and everything, I always had to like induce my period with medication every 3 months. So,
Oh, interesting.
and it was always extremely painful. Like my periods have just always been awful. And then postpartum, they were the worst. And I just got it back again. Postpartum,
Really?
terrible. Oh my gosh. Like
Gosh, just like not to be gross, but is it just like a
yeah,
lot heavier or is it like genuinely painful or both?
both. So, and then, so just like pain in your, abdomen, like the
Yeah.
lower back pain. I have pain all the way down both my legs in the back. Like I am in bed
I've
for at
never
least
heard
like
that
2
before.
days.
That's wild.
Yeah. So I need to figure that out because I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, like something's got to give there. Like, I feel like there's got to be some relief that can happen, right?
Yeah.
Obviously, like
But
up
this
in
is
my
like
knees
what we
and
want to do
everything.
for the motherhood after loss is like this is like real life, like postpartum. Like this is
Right.
what we go through. And like yes, it's like obviously such a journey to get to the baby part. And then once you do have the baby though, there's so much still more to it with our
Yeah.
bodies. Like as
I
the
know.
women, like
I
there's
know.
so many like nuances within it. It's wild. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like even that, like you're still having to try and figure out like, okay, why is this happening?
Right.
Why does this hurt so bad? Why? Yeah, it's crazy that it
It
never
is.
ends.
And it's so
Genuinely.
unfair. Like, we go through so much as women. Like, and it,
So much.
we could go down a whole
I
thing
know.
about that, but we'll save
So
that for
true.
another
Yeah, another
conversation.
episode.
But so after that I was like, okay, I said I would start going through fertility treatments again once I got my period back, like just to I don't know, get my body in check. I just
Yeah.
didn't want to have to induce a period, but it was getting to that time where I'm like, okay, it's been 17 months. Like I can't really let this go much further.
Yeah.
It's just not healthy. But I was also breastfeeding, which isn't your automatic, like you're not going to get it back, but it definitely, plays a role too.
Yeah. I
So
didn't get it back for a really long time. I nursed
yeah.
for 2 years and I
Oh
didn't get it
wow.
back for a really long time. So
Yeah.
it definitely plays a part for sure.
Right, right. So I but when I got it back, I was like, okay, that's what was in my head of when I was gonna start, right? And so
Mhm.
then all of a sudden I was like, I'm not ready to like emotionally, physically, mentally like go through this again. So I was just like
Yeah.
kind of putting it off. But also in my mind, I was like, we got really lucky having the first transfer work for us. I don't know if that's going to happen again. And I don't know if any of this is going to work again. And so,
It's so interesting you say that because I feel like a lot of times, for me at least, I was the opposite. I was like, it worked the first time. Of course, it's going to work again. So it's
That's
so
so
funny. I feel like
funny.
that's so much healthier you are because
Well,
you were
no,
like,
no. I mean, you don't want to be in this brain. It's not healthy.
like you at least like somewhat maybe were like it could not work like like maybe like telling yourself that like I don't know I was like in a bubble and then I guess when it didn't work it hit even harder.
Yeah,
That I mean regardless it's gonna hit hard if it doesn't
right.
work, but yeah, I it sounds like you may be a little bit healthier than me.
Girl, there's other things, trust me.
Wait, that's so funny. Okay, good. Okay, so you were like, okay, I don't know if it's gonna work. Yeah.
Yeah. And at this time, I had also just launched the business and we had
Okay.
also just moved our house. Like we moved the same week I launched the business, which wasn't supposed to happen. Timing of
Of
all that
course, it
kind of
always
stuff. But
does.
yeah,
Yeah.
so it was just a lot happening at once. And I felt like I was finally like settling down, like enjoying everything with Brooks and like all these things. But at the same time, I wanted, in my mind, it went back to like before infertility. I'm like, oh, I want to have this kind of space between my
Yeah.
children.
Oh,
All the
of
things that
course.
like
Yeah.
we put as a timeline, which
I want them
wasn't
born this month, so
difficult.
then it's the summer, and the yeah,
Right.
for sure. Yeah.
Right. So I don't know. I just wasn't ready to go through, even though I knew I needed to get to that point again because again, we didn't know how long it would take or if it would
Yeah.
happen. And then so there was one day, it was December 1st of 2023, and I was about to go to the sauna because the sauna was like my relief. I just love going there. It was my creative space. It was like my favorite self-care thing to do. And I went downstairs to my husband and I was like, I want to go to the sauna. And he goes, okay. He's
Yeah.
like, I'm not stopping you. And I'm like,
Yeah.
no, something's stopping me. He goes, well, I'm not. And I'm like, no, like, I
That's
don't know. I
what.
just have like a weird
Like a
feeling
gut
I
feeling.
shouldn't go. And he was like, okay. And like, he was just very confused because
Yeah,
he
yeah,
was like,
yeah. Yeah, what are you talking about? Just
yeah,
go.
he's like,
Yeah.
just go.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I was like, well, I'm not going to go. And he was like, okay. And so he's a fireman. And at that time, his schedule was like working nights and then days shift, whatever. So he went into work that night. I ended up taking Brooks to Target to get like things that we needed. And I was passing by the aisle with the pregnancy test. And I kind of just laughed to myself. And I was like, I'm just going to get one. But I was like,
Just
as I
yeah.
was picking it up, I'm like, this is so comical because
Yeah.
the
Like of
amount
course
of,
it's gonna be negative.
yeah,
Yeah.
I'm like, the amount of
Yeah.
negative tests I've seen in my life is absolutely absurd.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I picked it up and I put Brooks to bed that night and I went in the bathroom and I took the test and I waited and all of a sudden it popped up and it said pregnant. And I was just,
Like what? What did you do? Like I would have just like lost it.
yes. Well, at that moment, that exact moment that I saw pop up pregnant, my phone rings. And I go into the kitchen where my phone was, and it's my husband. And I know he's at the firehouse, so I can't like be
Yeah.
like, oh my God, like I
Yeah.
can't
Yeah.
say anything. And I was like, hello? And he was like, he thought like someone passed. He's like, what's wrong? Like, like my voice just sounded, and I'm like, we're pregnant. And he goes, what? How?
Like, what do you mean?
And I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, well, obviously I know, but like,
No,
I
yeah.
don't know. And so after we got off the call, we didn't even like talk too long because we didn't want to, I'm like, I don't want anyone to hear. Because
Yeah.
in my mind, I'm like, this isn't real.
Yeah.
Um, so I went back into the bathroom and I just kind of stared at it and I just started bawling my eyes out because I'm like, there were so many feelings that came over me in that moment. And my first one was guilt. And I feel awful saying that because obviously we were ecstatic beyond belief, but I had guilt for two reasons. I immediately thought of our embryos. And
Yeah.
I'm like, we have 7 embryos waiting for us. And I'm like, I'm like, what do I do? And I'm like, what do I do with them? And my other guilt was, why is this happening to me? Like, there's so
Mm.
many women that don't even have one that have been trying for so long. And like, why am I so lucky to like experience this? But
Yeah.
so it was just like a whirlwind of
Sure.
emotions. Honestly, it was a mind F. Like, that's how I
Yeah.
described it because I just felt
I can yeah, imagine.
like
Sure.
what's happening. I mean, I know you hear of it happening, right? And I think it happens to like 1 in 5 actually women that go through infertility and they go through fertility treatments, whether they were successful or not, end up conceiving naturally later on. but you just don't think it's ever going to happen to you. You know, especially
Oh,
after everything
yeah.
we go through, you're like, well, that's nice. That's great for them, but that'll never happen for me. And then being that person that happened to, I don't know, I felt like immediate guilt behind it. Um, and
Which
then,
I think is like so important that you just said that, because I feel like people don't realize that you can still feel like different emotions for
yeah,
like for something. Like you can feel guilt, but you don't need to feel guilt,
yeah,
obviously. Like you are allowed to be excited and
right,
happy and all of those things, but it's the reality of that is, yeah, like you do think about like all those other girls you might have talked like to while you were going through your
right,
IVF treatments, and like the community that you may have built, and you do feel bad for and like guilty, like, oh my gosh, like I can't believe I'm the one that this happened to. And then it's like this weird thing. Kat and I have talked about this so many times of like it almost makes you not want to share it, and it
yes,
makes you almost like not want to like talk about it or be as excited, because you just like feel the guilt
right,
of not wanting to like hurt someone else's feelings or have someone be like, gosh, I wish that was me. Or
right,
it's wild how infertility is just so layered,
yes,
and it's
it
so
is.
it brings so many emotions, and like it's such a roller coaster, genuinely.
It is, and I sat there and I'm like, what do I even do next? I'm
Yeah.
like, do you call the doctor? I don't know. I've never like
You're like, well, I don't
I'm
get
like,
this. What does this mean?
yeah, I'm like, I went to a fertility clinic last time. Like, I don't know. I'm like, so I ended up calling. Well, I took another one the next morning, and then that was positive again. And so I called my doctor, and they were like, okay, well, we'll see you in about like, let me look at the calendar for 7 to 8 weeks. And I was like, oh no, no,
You're
no.
like, no, 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 no. I'm
I'm like,
not a normal person. We don't do that.
right. And like they knew I went through infertility. So like they were really great about it. They got me in sooner. And I even requested blood work for,
Mhm.
I had a standing order of blood work for 3 weeks where I went every other day because I needed
I
to
love
see
it.
those HCG
Yeah.
levels rise. And because I was so anxious about it, I was like, this is
Yeah.
too good to be true. Like this, I
Yeah.
was just waiting for the shoe to drop.
For sure.
And even like when I was there, like the lady was just looking at my veins by the end of it. She's like, I don't think we should do anymore. I'm like, it's fine. It's fine. We
You're
just
like,
need
just
to
keep
do it
going.
and just keep going.
You're like, you don't
I'll get
understand.
here.
This will make me go crazy if I don't look at
Right.
those numbers. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. And so, yeah, I just always felt like it was too good to be true. And it ended up being like a really hard pregnancy on my body. It was completely like opposite of Brooks. I mean, Brooks ended up being high risk because we didn't really get into it, but I had like a hematoma at 13 weeks, like, which I didn't
Gosh.
even know was a common thing with IVF pregnancies. I
Yeah.
wish I would have been told that because it was
Yeah. I
very
had one
scary.
with my son too.
Yeah, and I thought I was miscarrying at that point. But
Literally the worst. That's like, honestly, I feel like we need to have you back on and share that, like really dive into
yeah.
that, and like we can talk about that, because the trauma that brings, like
Hmm.
and I'm sure you can feel the same way, but like I literally every time I pulled my pants down, I was like petrified to see
Yes.
blood, and I was
Hmm.
like that. I remember literally sitting on the floor like screaming, crying, like I
Yes.
don't want to lose this baby, like so
Hmm.
like there's so much to it that I think that we should literally dive into
Yeah.
another time,
Yeah.
because it's so real of like what people go through with that.
Yes. I like how chills just like to us talking about it because I'm like those feelings are yeah, it was
Yeah.
awful.
No, I totally
Um
understand. Yeah.
and so yeah, with Kate, but it was a different pregnancy. My body didn't handle it very well. I was always worried, like, because I didn't have the shots to keep me going after a while. So
Mhm.
it was just anxious the whole time. Like you said, I didn't actually even announce it until like 22 weeks because there's just all those emotions with it. And
Yeah.
honestly, I still have those emotions. Like, we still have our embryos stored. And I
Mhm.
still pay that fee every single year because I don't know, like, my husband says we're done, but I don't know I'm just not emotionally ready to like figure that out.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's a mind F in so
Oh,
many ways.
I'm sure. No, I can't even imagine, genuinely, because I mean, I know just for me, I still take like a pregnancy test almost every month, because my
Yeah.
periods are just so irregular that I'm
Hmm.
still like in that like hopeful that maybe
Right.
I will be that one person that it will happen to, but like then
Right.
but I like deep down I'm like it's not going to really happen. But
Yeah.
like it's still that like little percent.
I
So for it
know.
to actually show positive, I would be like, what the F
Oh
is
yeah.
happening? Like
Hmm.
literally. Okay, but all this, well, congratulations. That's
Thank
absolutely
you.
amazing. And I'm so happy for you that you are in that small percentage that this
Yes.
happens to. Like, it is truly a miracle. And I'm so, so, so happy for you.
Thank
But
you.
if you can back up, because I heard you say that you're obviously the company, Brooksy Box,
Yep.
started after you had your son. So
Yes.
what even like how did that even come about? Like what made you
Yep.
be like, you know what, this is what I want to start doing?
Yeah, so I was in corporate for 14 years, the last 4 years in a corporate leadership role for a fintech company. So I was like traveling a lot. We were starting to get back into our traveling a lot, like 3 weeks out of the month after COVID and everything. And so I was on maternity leave with Brooks. Again, very fortunate working for this company because I had like 18 weeks off, which is,
Mm.
as we know in America, very unheard
Yeah.
of. So extremely fortunate that way. But when I returned, like a little over a month after I returned, I knew we were going through a restructure like the whole time. And then when I returned a little over a month, I found out that my position was being eliminated. And so
Terrible.
that's like the corporate piece of it. But kind of to back up, like where my initial thought of Brooksy Box came in before all this even happened. After Brooks was born, obviously, like I've been working so hard to even get to that point with him, and all my focus was on him, and all my
Mhm.
husband and I focus was on like, okay, just getting to Brooks and like delivering him safely, having everything work out, having him home with us. And all that focus still remained on him postpartum.
Yeah.
And my sister in law came to meet him for the first time. And she actually brought me a basket of items that cared for myself in my recovery. And I was honestly just blown away by it. I just started crying. Like the hormones
Oh,
were just like raging. My like tears were just like going like crazy because I felt so seen and supported in that moment when honestly during a time when I felt like I was just existing to take care of someone else, just being in that vulnerable state, someone like
mhm.
took care of me. And I was like, why have I never done this for a mama before? Like I had always been the one just getting another outfit for the baby, and I
Yeah.
never thought to take care of the mom. And I guess it just goes back to like you don't know what you don't know, right? Like if you
Yeah.
haven't gone through it, you may not know. I mean, fortunate to those who haven't gone through it yet, but like still know that piece of like taking care of the mom. But
Mhm.
I just wasn't one of those people until then. And so after that, anytime that my friends would have a baby that summer, I made them a little care basket of items for them and not something for the baby. And so when all of this happened with my corporate role, when I got back, I took a little bit of time and I was like, I was talking to recruiters, going through different things, and I was like, I want to be home with him. But I still need something for myself because I'm just like
Mhm.
that career driven individual. But I'm like, I just worked so hard to get to this point. I'm like, I want to spend more time with him and not be traveling and in hotel rooms. And so had an identity crisis.
Yeah.
That millennial going through like their mid 30s
Yeah.
identity crisis at
But
this
I think
time.
so many moms do who are like corporate
Yeah.
women that like do love like to work.
Right.
And I feel like that's such a huge thing that like people genuinely do feel like they have this like identity crisis because they
Yeah.
don't know how to fit now. How am I a mom and how am I like this career woman? How do
Right.
those two, how can they both like coincide? Like, how do
Right.
I make this work?
And like my identity and my worth to me was always tied to my work. I was always
Mhm.
that one who just like looked at the next goal and like didn't take time to celebrate it. And I just went to the next one because
Yeah.
the corporate mentality that I had was, hey, what have you done for me lately? What have you done for me today? And it was just like, go, 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 achieve, achieve, climb the ladder.
Mhm. Yeah.
And so when I had that feeling, I was like, this is weird. I don't know what to do with this. Like I felt lost. I was like, I don't even know who I am anymore. It's still a mind thing for me. Like there's still different pieces that are there in so many ways with all of this. But after that, I took a little bit of time off, spent it with Brooks, and then one day I was making another care basket for a friend. I'm like, why don't I just do this? I'm like,
Mhm.
and I don't want it to just be postpartum boxes. I'm like, I know that the path to motherhood is not linear based on what I went through. I'm like, I want every woman, and every woman deserves to feel seen, supported, cared for, and less alone through her motherhood journey, whatever that might look like. So I started creating care boxes that focus on infertility, baby loss, pregnancy, which has like pregnancy congratulations, like morning sickness, labor and delivery boxes, 2 postpartum boxes, mama boxes, breastfeeding, just launched last year a NICU extended hospital stay care package. And then we have one box that's universal for any stage, which is just like self-care goodies that can be, used for any of those. But all the other boxes are products that care for her based on where she's at right now.
Which is absolutely incredible because, like, especially as someone who may not know anything about like infertility or hasn't even gone through pregnancy yet and is
Right.
just like you're like a friend that hasn't had kids yet or whatever, like they just like don't necessarily know what could be helpful for like postpartum or for NICU stay, and they've
Right.
never gone through it. Like you don't know, again it goes back to like you don't know what you don't know. So being able to literally go onto your website, which your website is beautiful,
Thank you.
literally to be able to click, be like, oh, this, and it already all comes in, all the different things. Everything I believe I saw was like clean
Mhm.
products, which is amazing.
Yes.
Uh, and just to be able to have all these different options is one unheard of, is not even out there. So the fact that you created this space for people, what you're doing is so incredible,
Thank
literally so
you.
incredible. It's life changing, genuinely. It, yeah, I mean, looking at your website, I went on it so many different times this week, and it's just so cool. And I did see that you're also doing like corporate gifting too.
Yeah, so I started with some corporate gifting last year and have a few clients, and now I'm really like ramping that up this year too. So I'll always, it's kind of branching off with 2 different things. Always the direct to consumer, which is family and friends that are purchasing for women in their life that are going through these stages, and those get sent directly to their homes. But then also corporate gifting from a standpoint of 3 different buckets, really. Like there's healthcare practices and corporate companies that want to celebrate either their patients or employees that either just had a baby or, sending something when they had just gone through a loss. And then like wellness events, and then also looking into like influencer gifting as well for companies that work within this space of just like thank you gifts for, being an influencer as part of their program and everything once they have a baby or become pregnant.
I love that. That's amazing. Honestly, like especially in the corporate world, for loss specifically, I feel like that's humanizing it so
Yes.
much because I
Yes.
feel like it's so expected that you say, "Oh, well, I had a doctor's appointment," or they may not even tell their like boss that they had a
Right.
loss. But so being able to tell them, and then also it being received as not just like you still have to come back to work in like 2 days,
Right.
that you still like that you, it just makes you feel seen, and that this wasn't
Mhm.
just like a nothing, like that it
Right.
was, yeah, like it genuinely is like, no, this was a baby, and I did have like a huge significant like life change in my life. um that, yeah, what you're doing is absolutely incredible. I love every single box. It is so cool. I can't wait to use it for people in my life.
Thank you.
Especially, we in this community, we have so many, unfortunately, women that have
Yeah.
gone through loss. And you just never know really like what that person needs. And I mean, it's so easy to run a Target and like
Mhm.
get a couple things, but you
Right.
never like it just doesn't feel as, I don't know, like sincere. Not that it's not sincere, if like you're
Yeah.
still, but to be able to like have a one-stop shop and be able to just have this beautiful box that arrives at their door, I just feel like is really cool. Really, really cool what you're doing.
No, thank you. And it stems from like I never experienced a loss myself, right? And
Mhm.
so, but that loss box came from my feelings of I unfortunately had several friends, throughout my like go through miscarriages.
Mhm.
And in those moments, I wanted to show up for them. I wanted to care for them and to let them know I was thinking of them, but I didn't know what to do and I didn't know what to send. So I always resorted to sending flowers.
Yeah.
So, which is, this societal norm, right? Is
Yeah.
sending flowers, and flowers are beautiful. Like I love flowers, right?
Mhm.
But at the same time, I think there's other things that can like care for individuals in different ways. And so that was the one thing I wanted to do with the Lost Box when I was designing it, was to kind of portray all those feelings that I and so many others have, that I want to care for you. I want to let you know I'm thinking of you. And I want to like also honor and remember your little one.
Yeah.
So that's why we have like the Always Mine candle in there as a remembrance candle. So
I love it. You were so intentional with every single box, genuinely. Like it's very obvious you had so much thought go into each one. Like for instance, this one I just pulled up. It's not my kind of shots. So it's like the infertility one, which is so funny because like yeah, you're going through all the shots, but there's like an
Right.
ice roller in it, which is so cool because I know
Yeah.
going through the progesterone shots are
Yes.
hard. Those
Yes.
hurt.
And like,
Yeah.
yeah, and the oil builds up so quick. And
Yes, there's
so
like a knot too, like
yes.
O's. And so, yeah, no, these are so intentional. I love everything that you're doing. And what's even greater that you've offered us a discount code for our community. So we so appreciate that. And I'll make sure I have everything in the show notes too. But the code is WTF Pod 15. And so she's offering 15% off for all of our community and all of our listeners. So we so appreciate that because I mean, I feel like the boxes are endless that you have. It's so cool what you're doing.
Thank you. I really appreciate that.
So, oh my goodness. I know we could like talk about a million different things
Well, I
because
was like, we could, yeah, I'm like, I could talk all day with you. There's so
no,
many avenues.
honestly, because like I mean, yeah, like I said, motherhood after loss, there's so many nuances to it. Like and
Hmm.
you're in it. You are literally you have two kids now
Yeah.
and you're still in like postpartum, like you have like all the things. You're still going through it, like the
Yeah.
period and everything. And you still have like a huge like chapter next of like what do you do with these embryos?
I
Like
know.
there's so much to even after you go through it and even after you do get the baby.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
it's not I feel like when we start going through infertility, it's like we just have to get to the baby. We just have to get to the
Right.
baby.
Yep.
We get to the baby and there's still so much like more to it.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I always say like infertility stays with you, like no
Yeah.
matter what. And so it was interesting when I went through the spontaneous pregnancy, I was like, do I not like belong in this community? Like it was just like, that was another part of it too. Right. And it's like,
Yeah.
no, like it's just forever a part of my story. It's forever a part of me. And like, who knows, like if we were to try natural again or whatever it might be, like that might not happen. Right. And
Yeah.
so
Yeah,
I
it
think
doesn't
so,
cancel out your infertility journey because
right.
you did get pregnant naturally. It doesn't, it's like not, it doesn't negate it.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the feelings are endless.
Right. Yeah. Oh my
So,
goodness. Well, thank you so much, Lauren. I
thank you,
so
Amanda.
appreciate you being on and just sharing about your company, your journey, and just everything you've gone through that led you to this amazing company that you have. So we will be sure again to share everything in our show notes and so people can reach out to you and on the website and be able to purchase a box for someone that they love in their life. But thank you again. Is there any last words you wanted to say to our listeners?
Yeah, I think it's be gentle with yourself, right? If you're going through it, lean on individuals that have, can help you and talk to you about it. And it's okay to like take that time for yourself and to say no to things right now. Do what's best for you and protect your heart.
I love that. Thank you. We so
Thank
appreciate you.
you.